that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be.
He said, now, my reward is with me. He said, but let me tell you something. Let me remake you because what I'm going to give you is according to your works. So I'm trying to make you over because of my reward. God said my reward is with me, is with him. He said, but what you're going to receive is according to your works. Read 13th verse.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
I remember when I was a little boy, you would always hear, church folk talk about heaven and talk about the streets of gold and 12 gates in the city, you know, um, and they would just talk about it, you know. But I also lived during segregation. As a little boy, I was in an all-black school from first grade to, I think, about eighth grade. And then we integrated, and it was a fight. Fights every day. Blacks and whites fight. It was actually sports that brought blacks and whites together. And but it was a life. When we travel, we go to places like Selma, and we see the history of Selma, where they tortured black folks and so forth. So even in the Baptist church, people would think about life after death. Uh, my grandma never used to say, if I can just be a doorkeeper in heaven. They didn't know what they were saying. If I could just be a guest, you know, if I'm going to go through all of this, I want to be the bride. And you have access to the tree of life. We can eat on the tree of life. They enter in through the gates into the city. And we don't think about the life that you acting like you're supposed to have now. That's the life that you're supposed to have when you're with him. He said, my reward is with me. You're thinking that you're supposed to live now with no tests, no trials, and everything just going godly and lovely. And the greatest fight you got is within your own self. You got to be so careful that your thought process and your mindset ain't looking at that I am in the hand of the potter. And everything that's happening, God sees everything. He's looking at the whole thing, everything that's happening to you. Even him talking to you and trying to get you to make decisions and sanctify yourself and do this, read your word, have a prayer life, trying to do all this stuff. A lot of times I enjoy just being alone with him. And then people just be seeking companionship and just want, why? Because, man, you're going to mess up if you put that responsibility on somebody else to make you happy. The Lord told me early, he said, if the Holy Ghost can't make you happy, ain't nothing in this world can make you happy. Matthew 25 in your Bibles, it's a process. If I can just please God, tell somebody I'm just trying to please the Lord. It's a fight in your flesh, but I'm trying to please him. And why? Because when this all over, we're going to have a reward out of this world. You're going to make your wait worthwhile. Why? Because right now we're going through a great fight. The flesh is warring against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Naturally and spiritually. Matthew 25 and 31 read.
When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them from one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, and the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
So let's get this straight. He ain't raising you up with just sheep. He raising you up with the sheep and the goat. And if you ever saw a herd, I remember we used to ride the zebra, and then we would turn on. I think we would keep straight on 17 and Bato, and then we would take a left and go the back way in. Sometimes 27 would be blocked. It would be an accident or something, and I knew all them different ways to drive in the Sebring. And when you would go down 17 and take that left, the head, you'd be further down by Avon Park when you come out on 27. And back there, the man had a herd of sheep and goat. And I would slow down and look. You could see the sheep, you could see the goat, and then once they all mingle together, you could see one time you can drive, you can see all the sheep over there, all the goat over there, and so forth, and then you could you could tell a difference. But when they all intermingle, you had to look real hard because they looked so much alike. And you had to look hard. I said, they go that little farm there, got sheep and goat, but now they all intermingling. And then if you're not careful, you can mistake a goat for a sheep because they look so much alike when they intermingle together. So the Lord said, now, whether you like it or not, He said, I'm gathering all the goat together. I'm gathering all the sheep together. And then your problem is that you want what you want. Is God making you among goats? What is He using to make you? Is He putting all these things? Are you the chosen one? Are you the reasoning one? Is everything surrounded? Because I put you in places to make you. I put you in situations to make you another. So since you won't sanctify on your own, since you won't do certain things on your own, I got to bring a little variance. I got to bring a little trouble because you wouldn't do it on your own. So I send something to make you do what I say. I tell people we got to suffer with Him anyhow. I mean, he that ceases from sin suffer in the flesh. So, irregardless of you living right, it ain't about I don't bother nobody, nobody don't bother me. It ain't about that. Because if you cease from sin, you're going to suffer. We're going to have to go through enough just the fact that we gave up the world, gave up sin. I got to go through enough on that by itself. So, I ain't finna add to it. Tell somebody better stop adding to it. You'll add to your trouble because God can be so much in love with you. Everything around you is about Him getting you. You the one He wants. He after you. And you don't know who's who in your circle. You can think you know everybody in your circle. God is the one who can look direct in the heart. He can put you in a place just to make you. Then turn around and say, love Him anyway. What verse we at now?
30, 35.
Read.
For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or saw we thee sick or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Now, my relief is helping you. My relief is helping my cousin. My relief is helping Zamil over there. My relief. He said, when was you hungry? When was you thirsty? When was you naked? When was you in prison? Who? Well, the Lord said, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I had a necessity. What's the reward when you're stuck on yourself? And you got all these people in need around you. And He's just sending you through a series of tests and trials to produce compassion and humility so that you won't be looking down. You know, knowledge puff up. And what's happening with us, we getting whole truth and we getting the knowledge. And if God don't send some type of thorn, you'll become arrogant. I mean, here it is. We know we are being taught things that the rest of a whole lot of people don't know, especially in the church world. And you can walk around and have a knowledge and know that God with you. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And then, but He'll send you through tests and trials because sometimes you can pray and God will do it, and sometimes you pray and He don't do it. And you got to go through it. And so what's my relief? It's helping somebody else. I'm going through my own struggle, but I'm learning through. See, you're supposed to be learning through your struggle. See, something wrong if you ain't learning through your struggle. I didn't say you weren't supposed to have a struggle. You're supposed to have a struggle, but that's supposed to be your classroom. And you learning, okay. You remember I was sharing with y'all, you'll say something and say, man, I just messed up. You know, somebody say something to you and say, well, who you talking to? And say, oh man, I shouldn't say that. Man, I just messed up. And then the person going off now, they're going off, and you realize, man, I just triggered this. I told you the Lord told me, He said, you're going to have to think about this stuff before you do it. And it took a little more humility to make me shut my mouth. It took a little more tests for me to go through, for me to humble myself. And then I wasn't so quick to go off. I thought about it, and I got something going on with God. I remember I looked in the mirror. The Lord told me, He said, look in the mirror. And I looked in the mirror. He said, I'm going to change you right in your face. And when tests, for many years, I would be going through tests. And He said, go and look in the mirror. And then I look in the mirror. Sometimes I see a sad face, hurting, And then it was some years went by. And then tests would come. And I look in the mirror. And I remember looking in the mirror one day and say, I like what you're doing. I was hurting. When I looked in that mirror and saw that same hurt that I saw a time before, I looked in that mirror and said, I like what you doing. Why? Because I saw Him changing me. Stuff came out my mouth. It hurt so good. Why? Because I didn't like who I was, but I liked who I was becoming. And what's the struggle? When a person stuck on who they are and don't like what's you becoming for Him. Tell somebody God making you over. And it hurt. Because you're going to have to be broken. He got to break your spirit. You ain't nothing about who you, because when you came, you was already marred by the world. The world had already formed us and had us thinking a certain way, feeling a certain way, pleasing our flesh, doing all this and stuff until you sum up what life is. What life is to me is me having my way. And then he got to break that, send you through a series of tests, and it changed you. You either gonna buck it or you gonna just tell him thank you. Why? Because he let me see my ugly self. And you ain't gonna be able to see it as long as you steady blaming it on other people. You know what? I wouldn't be feeling like this if you wouldn't have came over here and said something to me. I would have been all right. If you wouldn't have never did nothing to me. No, you need to come on and give me your best shot. Throw your best shot. The devil and folks throw their best shot. So I want to see what's in me. 1 Corinthians 3. I want to know what's really in me. I want to know, is this thing working? Am I this going to church, this praying, this in the Word of God? I want to know, is this stuff working? And the only way I'm going to know is it's working is the test got to come. 1 Corinthians 3 and 12, read.
Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble.
Can you turn this mic up, somebody? Not mine. Which one you got, Rachel? What color is it? Orange one. Read.
Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work.
Read that 13th verse again.
Every man's work.
Now, what is the foundation called? You? Are you gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, stubble? What you gonna let all this thing called tests build you to be what? 13th verse, what it say?
Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work.
So the true you, the real you, is exposed under fire. What type of person you are when that test comes? Now, praise the Lord, everybody. How everybody doing today? That ain't none of the real you. The real you is when that test comes. Who's showing up then? He say, the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. That's the fire gonna reveal you. Then you can be having a good day, and then that test comes, boom, and then your flesh just manifests itself. That's the one that God see. When he's looking at your heart, that's what he see. It ain't, man, I had a good day. Ain't nobody bothered me today. Ain't no tests came today. That ain't none of the real you. The real you is when that test comes. Man, they don't know I bust them in the head. The real you is that thought, that old crazy thought come when them people go to messing with you, them tests come. It's a crazy thought to come. They don't know I slap them. You saved and a crazy thought come. The enemy will have you think, man, I just might as well pack up and just leave. That come to everybody. And then the other test is when you know your relationship with God, but some trying to get you mad at somebody. Trying to get you mad at me. You ain't gonna sit there and be acting all religious and I done throw the brick at you and you as something trying to get you mad. Man, I better watch this thing right here. This thing trying to get me mad at Bishop. You better check that thing. And so forth. And what? And then now I know that there's some good in you, because when it come to fight you by me, you fight back. Guess who don't know it? I don't know it. Because you ain't confronting me. You ain't telling me off. So don't tell me that you're not capable of humbling yourself in situations, because you do it with me. When that spirit go to fighting you might come up to me and say, Bishop, pray for me because I'm trying to get me mad with you. That's about the most I hear. You come in, well, Who you talking to, Bishop? Better get out my face. I don't have to deal with none of that. Why? Because you fought that thing. But there's certain people that come in your life. They look like they know how to mash that button. We got a newlywed over there talking about that's real. You saying it already? The honeymoon is over. You know, and why? Because the fire. I want to know the real me. I don't want to be sitting here and be deceived my own self. You know, think we just in fellowship. We just getting along with one another. Look, come and be my test so I can find out. Lord, I still need you to help me. I still need you to work on me, Lord. I thought I had overcame that. I didn't know that was still there. And any of y'all thought you was over something, and then that thing came and found out. Look at man, I'm still dealing with this mess right here. Lord, help me, Jesus. Then went 2 or 3 weeks, and then and this test didn't even get you. Then all of a sudden, boom! I said, Lord, I thought I was over there. I didn't know this was still him. Somebody say, help me, Lord. 14th verse, what did it say?
If any man's work abide which he have built thereupon, he shall receive a reward.
There go that reward again. They say, now, don't think you finna go through all this stuff and I ain't gonna take care of you. God said, I got a reward for you. Look at you. It's certain things you don't do, what you used to do. You contain yourself. You have to fight your own self. It's places that you don't go. It ain't like you going to church and you still doing everything you used to do. It's sacrifices that you done made already. The Lord said, now, I want you to understand something. I'm going to reward you. I'm gonna bless you naturally and spiritually. Read 15th verse. I had to be a little broke before he gave me a little change. I had to understand what it was to be broke. So you won't, see, there's a difference in riches and wealth. Wealth is a state of mind. You know, now I can get some money and I ain't just ready to just spend it. You can sit on it. Sit on it. You know why? Because since he changed me, I don't need all these tangibles. Some people, you can tell, you know, y'all brothers, watch out when you marry a high maintenance sister. I want this and I want that. You know. And sisters, you watch out when you marry a lazy man. Got to be a balance. I can't be too far in the natural that I forget about the spiritual, and I can't just go all the way in the spiritual and act like I ain't got no natural life. So I gotta abide in the balanced life. I gotta keep my relationship with God, but I gotta keep the light bill paid too. Or y'all don't want to hear the truth. It ain't no fun speaking in tongues and the refrigerator ain't got nothing in it. God ain't got me on no 365-day fast. You know, I'm on a fast. I ain't on a fast because you ain't got no food. Man, I was when I was working at Publix. You know, Publix feeds you good. You know, and I was actually working around people who didn't eat until they got that meal at Publix. And then when I was working at Publix, you can bring your whole family every day if you want. I don't know, do they still do that? You can still bring your family to eat? I think so. You know, yeah, back in the day, you could bring your whole, and I remember this guy, you know, I say, and he'll go in at lunchtime, he have a plate full of meat and a plate full of vegetables. I said, man, what's it? He said, I don't eat till I come here. And then about 2 or 3 days out the week, he got his whole family now. He said, I'm feeding my family. That's the only they got. They was on a 1 meal a day fast. You know, so I'm feeding my family. It's a life that we live. Tell somebody God want to take care of you. He wanna take care of you, and He will reward you. Out of all this stuff that you giving up and going through, what is another reward? When I go through the process, I'm able to become so I can win. I'm able to. I was looking at a situation. I do it just about every day. Whenever a thought comes, you're dealing with a person. Where's Amir? Gone? You know, when Arnetta call you, you know, and then you look around, and then you try to I try to put myself on the other person in, you know, to understand why they think the way they think, why they do what they do. Sometimes you don't know what a person been through. So one of the rewards is, one, I please God by faith. I please God by helping you. And then I can please God by having compassion and becoming all the game. Have God surrounded you around contrariness in order for you to learn how to adjust to an environment and people so you can win people over? So, because when it's time to win souls, he that winneth souls is wise. So it ain't like you finna go out there in that world and then you finna witness to you. You're gonna witness to somebody totally different from you. So one of the rewards is the freedom to love everybody, but also that I can adjust, because my purpose is to help you be saved. 1 Corinthians 9:16, read.
For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me, if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a
He
reward.
said, now, if you don't buck the system, I got a reward for you. Okay, I'm sending you through a series of tests, and you see your ugly self. You know, stop fighting it. Tell somebody, stop fighting it.
Stop fighting.
You know, just go ahead and surrender. And then the Lord, he said, now, you think you gonna do all this sacrificing, you gonna do all this going through, and I ain't gonna reward you? And it's constantly, he keep reminding us, I'm gonna reward you. I know you're going through something. I told y'all what he told me. He said, I'm gonna make your wait worthwhile. All that time I'm in Seaver thinking I'm finna, build a big church and so forth. And a lot of members in one church, and God's plan was for me to go from city to city, state to state. And I'm sitting there belittling he said, I got a reward for you, so get out your mind what you think the reward is. Because you could be belittling yourself. Read.
For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verily that, when I preach
what is my reward then? Now watch this. Read.
Verily that, when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be free from all men.
What is my reward? I'm free from all men. Read.
Yet have I
and
made.
You sitting here, well, you know what? They sure know how to get to me right there. They could say things and just trigger me. They can look at me a certain way. They can raise their voice. They can do it. I'm free from all men. Now this is an earthly blessing here. I'm a reward you. What is my reward? 18th verse, read.
What is my reward then? Verily that, When I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the
So,
more.
hold up now. You mean to tell me you putting me in these situations? My freedom from all men is eventually served to gain. So are you putting me around a bunch of weak folks because you put strength inside of me for me to help these weak folks be stronger? And I allow you to see them, because that's what he did with me, with you. I allow you to see their weakness and their flaws. But are you the one? Listen to what Paul said, 20th verse. What did he say?
And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to God, but under the law of Christ.
Now the 22nd verse. All right, watch out now. Here we go. Is this the reasoning of God with you? And you trying to make things be something else? Read 22nd verse.
To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might.
Did he put you in this environment to strengthen the environment? Did he put you around some struggling folks? Did he put you around the opposite of you to create power? Negative and positive create power. Did he put you in an environment for you to help lift that environment up? Or you think that everything's supposed to be the way you think it's supposed to be, and you ain't looking at what God doing? Because sometimes, have y'all noticed that I have you praying with somebody, ain't no necessary that you tearing with this person, or this person tearing with you. I just put two people to pray together. What? Iron sharpening iron. Did he put you in an environment for you to help mold and reshape that environment? But you're so busy looking at how inadequate you are, and you could be stuck, because first he had to show you your weakness so you could become weak, so you can gain the weak. I could have compassion. I won't be so judgmental if I could see myself in the same struggle. And then I do what? Then I get my help from the Lord. And then what am I going to do then? I'm going to teach them, get your help from the Lord. When you came to me, was we equal? No, we were not. When you came here, you had a problem. God put you in situations where put you around people and they're not equal to you. Are you the lesser one or the better one? Because it ain't the equal one. This is not eharmony.com. I seen a commercial they had the other day. They had two women kissing. You know, so now they showing on there, okay, we match up the gay folks too. And you come to God and you think this is eharmony.com, put you around people that, see, in the world you did that. If they like Johnny Walker Red, you was with Johnny Walker Red. If they smoke weed, you was with the weed smokers. Whatever you did, if they dress hoochie, you make sure you walking with some hoochie dressers. And God, he'll put you with something totally different from you. Say, now you're going to learn how to adjust to this one. You're going to learn how to adjust to this one. Paul said, my reward is I'm free from all men. You can put me in any environment. Be that I can help my cousin. I can help Zamir. You know why? Because there's stuff coming down the road, and God will let you see. You're so gifted. You're a seer. You're a hearer. And God let you see. We could touch people and feel them and so forth. You can feel judgment. And then what I'll do, I got to do whatever I got to do to help lift this person up. Why? Because this who he put in my circle, and I got to help them. And have you ever thought they helping you? The very one that you're sitting there complaining about, are they helping you too? Because you're opposite. You ain't the same. So what? One side inadequate over here, another side inadequate over here. You got them two together. Will you allow each other to encourage? Because when you first met me, you was a mess.
Come on, Bishop. Truth, Lord.
A hot and cold mess. Some of you are hot, some of you cold. But it was a mess. And my assignment was to help lift you up. Have God put you on the assignment of life, put you in an environment of folks. Let me move along here. Let's go to 2 Timothy 1, dealing with immortality. Read 1 and 10.
But is now made manifest by the appearing of our Savior Jesus Christ, who have abolished death.
Look at the reward. Abolish death.
And have brought life and immortality to light through the gospel.
He said, now, I abolish death and I'm bringing life and immortal? You mean to tell me we going to live forever? You mean to tell me that's what God's plan is? But not for you to be gashing of teeth and in hell? Who that? Somebody called me today and they had a dream and they were describing to me what was going on. I said, you're describing hell. I said, you just described hell. I said, well, that's where I was at. And then they called me. I said, nah, okay, you called me. You just had a dream about you in hell. So my job is to help you not to go there. Will you help what's crippled around you? You got to help the wounded one, the crippled one, the one that's just living off a Band-Aid. That thing got to be fixed. And then God put it around you that you got something to help fix this over him. Especially when he start putting people for life in your life, children and marriage and so forth. It got to be fixed. You can't just put a Band-Aid. You put a Band-Aid on somebody in Walmart, you know, just pass them by, put a little Band-Aid on them. You know, they over there cutting up. But when something is life, then this thing got to be curable. I was thinking, if y'all looked at that video that Apostle told everybody to look at on the COVID-19, and I remember I be talking to King Andrew, and I remember she was so sick one time unto death, and the Lord told me this was before COVID-19, and then it's this particular medicine that they gave her, hydrochloroquine. Hydrocola, y'all to cut it short though.
Hydrocodone.
Stop it. Just stop the madness. If y'all were to look at but it's for people who have lupus. But it's also the medicine for COVID-19. It ain't in the shot. It's what America wants. In Africa, it's 1% people get COVID. Wow. Why? Because they have hydrochloroquine. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the queen. They have it where they can go in the store and just buy it off the shelf. But over here, you got to have a prescription, and they won't allow the doctors to give it. So they're giving the people over here shots instead of letting them have it. So over there, they just got the stuff. And then the lady said on the video, if y'all looked at it, she said, make sure you take your zinc every day. Zinc. And I told you all to take vitamin C and zinc. They say take that zinc every day, but that particular pill, that hydroxychloroquine, Colorola, whatever, RC Cola, you know, it's accessible to them. And what you have accessible to you? God. To help you through all of this. Y'all love the Lord? I think I'm going to cut off because you got to go over there to the temple.